Stomberg with the Success Home Team, Keller Williams Integrity Realty, and I am here with Doug Staley, owner of Competitive Wellness. Doug, I just want them to know more about you and what you do. Can you give them some background on yourself?
Sure. So as Holly had said, I'm the owner of Competitive Wellness. I started my business in 2014. It's a private one-on-one training business that is based out of a private studio. So that gives me exclusive ability to train clients one-on-one to their best ability. My training career started at the young age of 12 when I started lifting weights to get ready for football and other sports, and just kind of cascaded into going and playing collegiate football, working with the strength staff there after graduation. So I did 2 years in collegiate and then moved to the Twin Cities in 2013, where I started my own personal training business out of an LA Fitness, and then slowly but surely built it up and then created a private entity in Competitive Wellness, where I based out of a couple of private gym, or a public gym and then a private gym. And then now I've owned my own studio for about 6 months. So basically what we focus on is just the one-on-one, completely tailored program. I also work with high school kids at Park High School down in Cottage Grove as the head strength conditioning coach. So there I'm able to completely facilitate all the training for all 24 teams I think we have between all seasons, where I work with that and then our Special Olympics athletes as well.
It's fantastic. So Doug, how long have I been training with you?
A little over a year and a half, probably.
That's what
18 months, I think, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So one of the things that I completely adore about you is that you've really tailored plans to hit my goals. And so initially when Jonas was like, hey, you want to start personal training with Doug, and he does all these lifting competitions and he can do all this stuff, I was like, that's not my goals. You've really helped me though accomplish my goals. And one of the things that I love to tell people about you is I never have to guess what I'm going to do for my workouts. You've hand tailored them to work for when I go on vacation and I'm like, can I still do a workout? You'll do that. Or right now, one of the best things that you've done is you've kept me moving at home. Even with injuries like my broken kneecap, you've definitely tailored workouts so I can continue the movement. And what I love about that is when I went in and I saw the doctor and they were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm still working out. I'm just not moving I'm following the rules of my doctor of not moving my knee. And I was still lifting upper body, which we had full clearance to do. And they said that was the best thing for healing. And you just empowered me through all of that to continue to work towards my goals. And I think it's so important to move your body. And I want to hear why you think it's important for people, especially right now, who are home, or especially with shelter in place, and there's things going on in their home and they might be uncertain and have some things going on. Why is it important for people to move their body?
Sure. The biggest thing that I talk about with most of my clients and everyone during this time is it's the biggest thing is it's something we can control. But not only that, it's something that can actually give us a boost. You know, it can help you feel better. It can help you move. It can trigger the dopamine receptors. You can get things moving around, blood flow. It's going to help with mental state. It's going to help with sleep. But not only that, you can set a schedule. So you can say you're going to work out in the morning before you log on for work, or in the afternoon afterwards, whichever you prefer. But it's the biggest thing is it's something you can control. And I think that right now, where we literally don't have any control over half of what's going on out in the outside world, it's something that we can have full say in. We can have full say in our effort. We can have full say in how much we're going to do, how much we're not going to do, you know, what we're going to eat. And it just helps you feel better. So we're probably sitting more now in these last couple of weeks than we ever have. Depending, even people that work at an office desk, you were still walking to and from work, and now you walk from your bedroom or your kitchen to the table where you work. So now we're moving even less. And what you'll see is the low back starting to tighten up, the hips start to tighten up, things like that start to hurt. And when you go back to your normal routine of going to work every day, you're going to feel more run down, more tired. You're going to feel the fatigue set in a lot quicker in your workouts, especially if you haven't been doing anything, but you're going to feel that set in a lot quicker because things have changed. And the best way we can counteract that is just to stay active. And it doesn't mean if you were someone that barbell squatted before and you don't have one at home that you can't do anything. You can get by with minimal to none. I have clients that don't have anything at home and they're still getting workouts in. So the biggest thing is being able to have a resource that actually can give you workouts that are going to be designed to doing what you need to do. Meaning if you have a tight low back or history of low back pain or hips or whatever it's going to be, someone that can give you that workout, because, Googling it or Instagramming it or YouTubing it doesn't always equate to getting exactly what you're looking for. It can be a great workout and do a lot of things, but it could actually add to the problems you have going on. So
I think you touched on something too, because my mindset before coming to you was, well, I can go on Pinterest or Instagram, or I can Google it and I can find stuff to do that will help me hit my goals. And I think I even was like, this is what I've been doing. And you were like, great,
right.
Except you told me your goals were this, and this isn't that. And I'm not new to fitness and to working out. Like I ran track, I have been physically active. And when you told me that, I was like, what? Nuh-uh. Like, same thing. And that's what I love about your tailored programs. I really do. So knowing that people are moving less, what can people be doing to be active right now?
The biggest thing that I have people doing, especially if they have kids or they're busy and have stuff going on, stuff you can do with your kids. Just going for a 10-minute walk 2 to 3 times a day. Something super simple. It's warming up here in Minnesota, so that helps. But like just getting outside, getting some fresh air. I know we're in the stay-at-home thing, but give people some distance and get outside, get some fresh air, get some sunlight, and just go for a walk. Just be upright, moving. That's going to help a ton. And then on top of that, if that's something that you've already kind of been doing or something that you're doing, I just have people start with basic stuff. Like a calisthenics workout is super easy. Some walking lunges, some side lunges, just simple movements that people overlook because they think to be too easy can actually be really difficult. I'll use me as an example. I went from squatting 800 pounds to having trouble doing lunges with 20 pounds because I was such a bipedal athlete that I lost most of my unilateral or single leg strength and balance. So I was really good at squat, bench, and deadlift, but I was really bad at everything else. So my thing is like, so when we go back to that, it's going to make you better doing simple movements, and simple movements may seem easy and stupid and monotonous, but just doing them will, at this time especially, will help you to actually move better long term. So when you go back to the squat rack or go back to your bench press or whatever it is, you might feel better, you might feel stronger, you might feel recovered, but actually that you got some work in still. So that's just the biggest thing is finding out kind of what your weaknesses are and what you want to work on, and then finding a way to do it with just body weight.
I think you said it too. Right now, I think the most I'm using at home is a chair or my
Probably
box.
chair on the floor.
Yeah. Like, and I still get done with my workouts and think that was great. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still pushing myself. And I think you're so right. It's something that I can control. So I can control continuing to move my body. And it's something that my girls get to see me do. And they want to take part of it too. They want to be there and be part of it. And in this time when I'm able to do that, I know when I move my body, it changes my perspective and it allows me to show up more attentive. So
yeah, and that's, I mean, I have recently been training early in the morning, even during this where I'm not seeing clients one-on-one with my business being shut down. I still get up in the morning and train early. The main reason for that is it's something that I accomplished right away. So if I only have 5 emails I have to take care of today, I still got my workout on, still got all that done, and it's out of the way. So it's not like I slept in till 10, got up, answered a couple emails, and I'll go train now. It's like, oh no, maybe I'll just go later. Maybe I'll do it now. I set a time every day that I do it. And the primary reason for that is nothing other than daily life is going back to normal eventually. We don't know when, but it's going to. And rather than getting rocked by that, like we got rocked by the COVID virus, I'm setting up ways that I can still go back to daily life and not feel overwhelmed again. So keeping my wake up time the same, keeping my bedtime the same, keeping everything that I'm doing the same has been a huge, huge priority for me, just for keeping that just for keeping life linear and keeping everything normal and controlling one thing every day that I can do. And for me, that's been my workouts. I guess I'll say two things. That's been my workouts and my diet. Is those are two things that I can every day have complete control over. No matter what time of day, no matter what it is, I can win that no matter what.
I love that. Doug, one of the things that, okay, I do want you to tell people, because I don't know that you touched on this, but you are a very qualified.
Yes, I forgot. I'm sorry. That's my fault. Yes. So I graduated undergraduate in 2012 and then was a collegiate strength coach for 2 years. So I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science. And then for about 3 to 4 years, I just worked in my business. And about 3 years ago, I went back to school for my master's degree in sport and exercise science as well. So on top of that, I do have a certified strength and conditioning specialist certification, which is only achievable when you've done a 4-year program. And then I'm also Olympic weightlifting certified. Same thing, have to have had a 4-year degree. So the biggest reason that I touch on that with people, and I don't talk about it as much anymore, but the main reason I say that is I took the time, took the experience, and have about 6 years of solid school education. And that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm more qualified than anybody or anything like that. It just means that I took the time to invest in the industry. And while in those times, I had time to intern with people for free. So I was able to learn at my expense, essentially, on how to do better at what I do. And in the meantime, learning from very qualified people. I was interning with the University of Minnesota strength staff with the Olympic sports, so men's and women's hockey, pretty much every sport but football, I guess. And then I was actually coordinating the strength conditioning stuff for Dickinson State's track and field basketball and volleyball teams while I was right after I'd graduated. So the real world experience got there on top of the education. And I think the biggest thing with the education was it was bettering for me. It was achieving, a lot of people do what I do with just a certification that they earned over the course of a weekend, which there's nothing wrong with that. I chose a different route. And the reason I chose that route was it's kind of how I attack everything is I want to do the best I can do and be the best I can be at it. So getting those degrees was important to me just because I felt it would make me a better trainer long-term, not short-term where I can just get into it, but long-term I'm going to be better and better because I've built a network and I now have people I can reach out to that are far smarter than I am.
You have a love for what you do and you truly want people to hit their full potential. Is that fair?
Sure. And the biggest thing that I tell people is a lot of people get in this industry because they like to work out. They enjoy the gym. They enjoy training. But not a lot of people have done things outside of just bodybuilding style or things like that, meaning they haven't really taken their own body into deep water, meaning they've done things they've been comfortable with. And genetically, maybe they're a little gifted, so things work really well for them. Well, genetically, I was not gifted to be a great football player. It just wasn't it. And powerlifting, I was built leverage-wise for it. But, it's just one of those things where I think people, they get into strength, they get into working people out and doing fitness because it's something that they're passionate about. And then once they learn that people aren't as passionate about it as they are, they get frustrated because they've never had to maybe put their head down and grind through something. Whereas I've had the experience over the last 18 years of training myself that I've had to do those different facets. When I was 13 years old and we were just getting started doing bench press, stuff like that, I was probably the biggest kid in the room for an 8th grader, and probably the weakest. And that was the thing that for me that motivated me is because everyone thinks that it was like, oh, genetically you're gifted, so you were strong right away. And it's like I was the heaviest kid for sure and probably the weakest bench presser we had. And for me, that was something that helped me shift my mentality to where it's like, as I got stronger, it was something I could control. So I wasn't good at lifting weights when I first started, but when I got used to it and got better at it, I saw the progress coming. And for me, the mentality shift happened at a younger age. So now when I work with the middle school kids and high school kids, I talk about that with parents when we meet, meaning like people find me now and they don't see what my mentality was like back then. And they don't see, all that stuff. But now what they see is a confident person that has complete control over it. But when I first started, I would ride a bus out to the high school and probably be the only middle school kid in there for most nights. And so you're training with, most of them were 16, 17, 18, and I was 12 when I started. Plus I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I don't think anybody is in 7th grade, but my biggest thing was building the confidence and having the mindset of getting better. And then it carried over. And I think weights and lifting weights had a huge, huge advantage of that for me, to where now I'm not really, weight room wise, obviously not afraid to walk in anywhere, but it's helped my confidence more than I can even probably describe to people. And that's something that people don't see, because most people that know me now didn't know me back then. They didn't know how inconfident I was, whatever the word is, but they didn't know that was kind of how it started. They didn't know that, but it's one of those things where until you dig deep, and so I know on a lot of levels how people feel when they come in here, and most people don't know that I know that, but I know what it's like to feel really weak. I know what it's like to feel out of shape. I know what it's like to be uncomfortable. So I think that carries over to the service I provide, because not only do I want to see you get better, but I also understand what it's going to take, and I also understand how you're feeling, and I also understand some of the emotional stuff that people go through with the change.
Yeah, I think that your heart is so big, and I think that you show that in how you show up when you train. And I think another way you show that is what's amazing is I had posted something about if people needed food or something, what could they do? And you pinged me and you said, hey, do you want to do an essentials drive? Do you want to do something where we could really serve our community, because it's a value of yours and a value of ours as our businesses, and how we know food shelves are in need of things with kids being home more and people being home more and not having that access to the school meals and things like that. And so we've put together an essentials drive where they can drop off toilet paper, diapers.
I have not had anyone donate hand sanitizer yet, though, but yeah, anything. And the biggest thing that I've been talking is when people reach out to me and when they've seen my posts, either on social media or anywhere like that, they say, hey, what do you need? And the first thing I say is baby products, usually. Not even toilet paper, not even that, like baby diapers, things like that, because there's a lot of people that are looking for that. And I was in Costco a couple of days ago, and everything's completely sold out. So I couldn't imagine. I've never had kids, but I couldn't imagine having to deal with diapers, especially cloth diapers, or not having diapers or any of that stuff, and not because for any reason other than you can't find them. So that's a big thing that I'm looking at. And then just simple things that are easy to cook. That's what I've been telling people. So like a lot of peanut butter has been donated, like cans of tuna fish. Obviously, that's a simple one. Not every kid loves tuna fish, but it is what it is. It's simple things to cook, because if the kid is at home and they have to cook for themselves, like everyone knows how to put peanut butter on bread.
Yep.
So, and peanut butter is a decent source of protein and good fats if you get some good peanut butter. So, for right now, we're just trying to get essential stuff that's easy for parents and easy for kids, because that's what it's going to come down to is just getting stuff to people that need it and making sure that it's something that they're going to consume. Nobody wants to consume, cans of chickpeas unless they have to, unless they're vegetarian, but.
So you guys, if you have stuff you want to donate, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Doug. Doug, can you tell them where they can find you? Where are you socially? What's your email? How can they reach out to you? So if they want to interact with you more, or even drop stuff off for the Essentials Drive, and I would say everyone, you want to interact with Doug more. So tell them where they can find you.
The biggest one is Instagram. I do a lot through my Instagram channel. So that's Doug, Doug.Staley, strength or SC, I believe is my Instagram handle. Something like that. Somewhere in there.
Don't worry, I'll put it below.
Yeah. But, and then my email address is great too, Doug@competitivewellnessllc.com. And you can go to my website, which is competitivewellnessllc.com as well. Those are the three primaries.
Doug, I'm so grateful. You guys get out and move your body. It's going to make you feel better. Doug just told you it made him more confident, so I'm sure it'll do the same for you. Thanks, Doug.
Yes.